Hey everyone, so I hope you're enjoying my May Madness month where I'm putting out a video every day for the month. Well, I'm attempting to anyway. And today I'm going to look at the 13 Fs from all the super investors. And I've sort of filtered through all the ones that I think have something to talk about. A lot of people like Guy Spear that I really admire as an investor, there's been no changes. So I've ruled those things out, and I'm just sort of looking at the investors that I think have done something interesting. So let's jump into that now. I'm going to be looking at TIKR terminal for all of this because they show not only the updated 13F information, but we can also see their international holdings as well, which is really great to see. Not every international holding, but there's definitely like Japanese filings and things like that that we can get picked up in TIKR, not on something like Dataroma. So I think it's more a useful tool. TIKR, there's a link in the description. Also a link in the description for Interactive Brokers, which is the broker that I use to make my investments. So without further ado, let's jump into my computer. Okay, so first up, I'm looking at RV Capital. So we got Rob Vernal here, and I think this one came out a few weeks ago actually. And I think the interesting thing to take away here is that there's been a little add to Facebook, a little sell to Credit Acceptance Corp, but a new position in Interactive Brokers, which is very interesting considering I was just talking about Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers being a public company, not just a brokerage firm that we can use to trade with. You can actually invest in the company. So very interesting that he has looked at Interactive Brokers as a investment. I have looked at this before. Although I love Interactive Brokers as a brokerage platform, I think they've always been about fair price. So and they kind of are quite a mature business. That's why I like them as a broker. But as an investment, I think they're only going to grow at like 6 to 10% and be rock solid for a long period of time. That's fantastic, but I'm hoping for a bit better than that out of my investments. That's the reason I haven't really looked into Interactive Brokers as a serious investment before, just because I think it's very mature. But good to see Rob Vernal has jumped in on this one. Well, the last 18 months has been a tough period for him, especially with Carvana and Trupanion. They've been getting belted. If you haven't looked at, well, Carvana's down like 99% or something crazy. Trupanion down a lot as well, maybe 80%. So yeah, hopefully he can find something solid in Interactive Brokers, which is cool. All right, let's move on to Bill Ackman at Pershing Square Capital. And I think the interesting thing to note here is that he's made all those smallish positions based on his overall portfolio. He's opened up new positions in Google, Alphabet, which being the name of the company, and that's pretty cool to see. He's obviously decided that it's the price has come to a point where he's attracted to it now, and it's probably a pretty safe bet and a pretty safe place to park cash. I like that move. I think, yeah, good on Bill Ackman for putting some money into Google, and that's something that we should probably have a little look at as well at some point. I'm going to move over to Himalaya Capital. So this is Li Lu. And I think what's interesting here is the quite a significant sell down of Micron Technology. And then in addition to Bank of America Corp, but also East West Bank Corp. So he's seen that there's an opportunity with the whole regional banking issues that have been happening the last few months. He sees something in the company called East West Bank Corp. I'm actually not familiar with this one, but good to see Li Lu believe that there's probably a situation where all the regional banks have been getting hammered, so he's found what he believes is one of the better ones to invest in because he thinks it's probably overdone the negativity around that one. So East West Bank Corp, another one for the list. Chuck Akery at Akery Capital Management. Now Chuck Akery is no longer the head of this, but I still really like his three-legged stool approach to investing, where he's looking for strong returns on invested capital, very strong management teams, and a long runway to grow into. They're the three legs of his stool. So I always like to look at Chuck Akery's portfolio for any new additions there. And look, there's not a whole lot going on from an additions point of view, but there's quite a sell down in CarMax, which is interesting. CarMax is the online car retailer in America. I find that interesting. He doesn't normally sell out of large positions. Like CarMax has always been a pretty large holding, so I'm surprised that there's quite a big sell off in that one. Now, I just want to flag a company here just quickly. This KKR and Co. We're going to see that pop up a few times, and that's just something that I think is not just in Chuck Akery's portfolio, but it's in a handful of other people's portfolio as well. For example, Stephen Mandel at Lone Pine Capital, he also has KKR and Co. And I wasn't familiar what KKR and Co is, but there's so many super investors have invested in this business. So I use that information. I go and have a look at their history, and I have a look at their total equity. I didn't even know what KKR and Co was, but I went to their website, and they just say they're a leading global investment firm that offers alternative asset management as well as capital markets and insurance solutions. Sounds like a conglomerate to me. Probably has to be, this investment has a lot to do with management. So I don't know anything about this company. It's something to dig into, but you can look at their equity growth has been really strong in the past, in their history. There was a big drop off in 2015 to 2016. I don't know why, obviously. I'm just looking at this company for the first time, but it looks like they've spun something out. They've sold off a particular asset or assets. And since 2016, it's gone from a 17 billion equity number to, 53 billion at the moment. And that's very strong growth over about a 7-year period. That's what's that, a triple. So KKR and Co is a company that now is something that I'm going to look into further and see what they see, because when there's a number of super investors investing in it and buying at the moment, that triggers me to go out and do some work. And that's why I'm doing these videos in particular. It gives me more ideas. Who knows if I actually invest or not, but it's great for idea generation. And then lastly, but definitely not least, is Scion Asset Management. This is Michael Burry. And there's been a lot of additions going on here. So we've got buying a lot more of JD.com, Alibaba. Then we've got companies that I've never heard of, like Signet Jewelers. Sibanye-Stillwater is actually a company that I have made a video on my channel before. That's a mining company out of South Africa. And yeah, their net asset value is cheap, but it's a mining company. I don't know what Michael Burry sees in that one specifically. Then you've got some companies we are familiar with. New York Community Bank Corp I'm familiar with. Zoom Video Communications, so Zoom. Interesting, they've been getting punished lately. Michael Burry obviously sees it might be overdone. That's really cool. There's a lot of new additions in here. A few banks. We've got some energy businesses here. A lot more bank companies. First Republic Bank, Huntington Bank shares. Yeah, Michael Burry, along with some of the other investors, think that the banking sector is probably going to be okay, and this might all be overblown. So some smart minds are thinking alike there, and I think that's all really interesting. I hope you've enjoyed this little video of what's going on in the super investors world. I hope you like my interpretation of what I see here. And yeah, I'll do this again in 3 months' time. I hope you're enjoying my May madness, and I will see you in the next video tomorrow.